Thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program at the El Paso Community College. And of course, this is the show for seniors, by seniors, and it is Mature Living. Thank you for joining us. We always want to educate our community about all different types of services, medical services, in-home services. And so we've invited Envision Hospice, who has a motto of making a difference one life at a time. And so we've invited Claudia Gallardo, who is a nurse, an RN, a clinical services director for Envision Hospice. And you've brought Paul Santo.
Yes.
Thank you for being here, Paul.
Well, thank you for having me.
And you're the community liaison.
Yes.
I want to start with possibly what is hospice? You know, there's always a kind of a end of life term that scares people.
Exactly. Hospice is a support program to the caregiver who cares for a loved one who has a terminal condition.
Yes. And so we need not be afraid because hospice organizations are so helpful to families, aren't they? We need to embrace them and welcome them.
Exactly. Everybody has a misconception that when somebody goes into hospice, it's because they're about to end life, and that is not the case. What it is the patient has a chronic condition that if it continues this way, it would end up requiring more care than normal.
Yes.
So that's why the hospice program is developed to be able to lend support to them.
And I have a personal story to share. My mother came out of the hospital and couldn't walk anymore. I guess atrophy came into her in her 90s.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So she got into hospice, and then when she got home, she got better and better and better with the help of the hospice organization. And then pretty soon she was kicked out of hospice because she was doing so well. She lived 6 years more after that. So,
exactly.
You know, that's a success story of care.
It is. And that goes to show that not everything is at the end, that there's someone that has the final word, and all we can do is go by what we see.
It's very good.
But absolutely. Yes.
So every stage of life needs care, medical care. And so sometimes that's misunderstood, right?
It is. And you know, when example, like when a mother's going to have a baby, they prepare.
Yes.
When their young ladies become of age, they prepare. When men age, they prepare. They go see the doctor and they get the proper attention. Yet when we age, we run away from doctors and we run away from everything we can instead of embracing what it is that is coming. And if it is that unfortunately somebody does develop a chronic that leads into a terminal condition, they don't need to be alone. They need to have the support of a program that more often than not has better outcomes. There's a lot of research that shows that having hospice at the end of life has better quality of care.
Very good. And so that's what Envision Hospice does. Another thing that comes to mind is how we educate our community. And maybe Paul can answer this.
Sure.
How does hospice educate families? How do you educate families?
Well, that's where my title as community liaison comes in. Our job is to go out into the community. Basically, we do like health fairs. We go into the doctor's offices and try to educate them about hospice. But at the same time, when we get a family that does not understand hospice, we go in and we do what we call a Hospice 101. And what a Hospice 101 entails, basically we go in and we educate them on the hospice services.
The services.
Because what happens is a lot of families, when they are told that their loved one needs hospice, or the patient themselves, it's very frightening. I've been through it personally. I know the experience. And one of the biggest complaints that we've gotten in the community is, I feel like I'm signing a death sentence.
Yeah.
And we have to educate them that we're not. We're actually going to go and provide comfort. And we do have some cases, like your mother.
And we didn't want them to leave. No,
Yes,
stay.
exactly.
Please stay longer. Thank you for your service. It's wonderful. It keeps my mom going. And we didn't want you to leave. No.
Yes.
Exactly.
So we go in there and we let them know what the services entail. We let them know that we know not only do we provide, comfort and support, through clinical means, but we also provide it, through emotional support and spiritual support.
It's true.
And I think sometimes that makes a difference with the patient when they're receiving that emotional and spiritual support, And sometimes that's why you have cases where they do graduate from hospice.
Oh,
Yes, there
gosh.
you go, and we
I'm
call
glad
it
you
that.
said graduating instead of getting kicked out. I didn't use the right term.
Yes.
Graduated from hospice.
Yes,
Got
yes.
lots better. And that's what it was all about.
Yes.
So there, the myths and the limitations are just myths. What we want is a good quality of life, good care, meeting great nurses and attendants. Oh my gosh.
Exactly, and that is the reason why our mission statement is making a difference, one life at a time, because the regulations are laid out by Medicare, but it's up to us, the different programs, to embrace every patient on their own terms. It doesn't mean we're coming in to change them or their family. We're adding to the greatness that they have to our comfort.
Yes, that's a very good way to explain it. I don't know what else you want to share that's important as you come to talk to our viewers, and many of them are women, and
Yes.
we end up caregivers.
Exactly.
And I feel like that we need help,
Yes,
because we don't know it all. We all will be a caregiver at one time or another for an elder or for a child or, for a neighbor, for an auntie.
exactly.
So we all become either personal caregivers or we will be care facilitators. So we need to know as facilitators, who can we call to help
Exactly.
the patient, your family member.
Exactly, and the education and support is so greatly needed. As a matter of fact, there is a bill on Congress right now that it just got approved by the Senate to add additional funding to educate the community in the United States, because it is not only a community problem, it is a national problem.
And more, the population of the elders that need your services is growing.
Yes, yes, it is.
Wow. And so how do we take care of all of us
Exactly.
that are coming on board, as we get older? Is there a phone number that they can call you? We've already mentioned that, I think I've already mentioned that we're neighbors on Viscount Boulevard, where this community college, EPCC TV, is located. But can you give us your address, your phone number, your website, whatever you want to share?
Our website is www.envisionhospice.com. Our main number is 915-778-0028. And we're located at 8929 Viscount.
Okay.
We are available. We are on call. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
How many staff members works for Envision?
Our team is a team of about 60 team members.
Wow. And you go all over the city.
All over the city.
You may want to share where because you are the community liaison.
We go all over the El Paso County. We go as far out as Van Horn.
Wow.
Yes, so but mainly within the El Paso area. We provide services, and we do outreach, to the
Very
community
good.
as well.
Well, thank you for that. I just had not mentioned that territory that you cover. And so we've been talking with Claudia Gallardo, who is the nurse and RN, clinical specialist director for Envision Hospice, and Paul Santo, who is of course, the community liaison. Thank you for being here on Mature
Thank you
Living.
for
I
having
appreciate
us.
it.
Thank you. We appreciate. Thank you for having us.
And we'll be back with more guests. Thank you for staying with us. We have more conversation to talk about how the different organizations in this community helps families with seniors. And so we've invited the Caring Partners Home Care Organization, and Ernesto Navarro is here. He is the social worker for that organization. And it's funny how we're sitting here in our Mature Living set, and he says, I feel like at home. This is what I do when I go out to talk to families and sit in their living rooms. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Good to meet you, Ernesto. Tell me about the mission of Caring Partners Home Care.
Well, our mission is to for our seniors to maintain their independence in the community. We want them to continue living with quality life out
In
there.
their homes.
In their homes as well, especially in their homes.
And that's where most seniors want to spend their end years, their golden years in their home.
Exactly, because they work hard for their home and they want to remain in their home.
So sometimes the difficulties come in because of frailty, health issues, and so we need to know what services are available for the home.
Exactly. So when I get the phone call, I go do an assessment and I go visit our seniors in their home and I do an evaluation to see what they can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
And once I do that, I start a referral process. And the referral process involves talking to the children who are adults and giving them assistance and helping their parents because they work. And so, therefore, their parents are home alone and they need a little bit of help.
So, how do you do the referrals? Is there a process?
So, in the referral process, I sit in their homes and I observe and evaluate what they can and can't do. And of course, I get the information from the family, from their sons and daughters of what they're needing a little bit of extra help in. And those tasks, what we call them tasks, are ADLs, which we refer to as their activities of daily living. This is something that we do every day as we wake up.
And we take things for granted.
Exactly, we take
Some
that
of us.
granted. Yes, we do. And so that's what I explain to the families that, we take it for granted. But as we get older and mature, it gets a little tougher.
So, are those kinds of things like bathing and dressing, cooking? What are some of the ADLs?
What you did this morning, you got up, you bathed, you got ready to come to work, you dressed, you cleaned up the kitchen, light housekeeping, all that are ADLs.
Okay.
And so therefore, I evaluate all that to make sure that our seniors are getting a good meal in the morning, a good breakfast.
Yes.
And so sometimes they have challenges with that, and we want to make sure that they remain safe in their home.
Yes. And how many staff members do you have, and what are the different things that they do, services?
So it depends with the state. So part of the referral process, once I submit my referral process, the referral to the state sends their social worker out there. And they ask and to see if what they can and can't do, something similar to what I've done. And once they determine that they do qualify based on their need, they'll submit an authorization of approval of how much time they would like us to spend in helping our seniors.
Okay. What are some of the success stories of the families that you've helped?
Any time that you get anybody in there, it's already a success. Why? Because we continue to maintain their independence. They continue to be out in the community, enjoy our community, and not be home all the time.
Okay.
And just, to go out and go do their grocery shopping, whatever it is that they've done in the past, that they continue doing it.
What are some of the things and clients that you find that your services best benefits? Maybe through a fall that they had or coming out of the hospital? What kinds of...
Well, unfortunately, I do see those who are a little bit more fragile. And,
Okay.
they're homebound. And we
Okay.
want to make sure to maintain their quality of life. Make sure that they still get what they need and make sure that, they're bathed, they're clean, and they're fed. And so that's a success story in itself because they're still at home, not in
Yes.
an institution.
And do you also have nurses that come and checks on their vitals?
That depends all on the doctor. If the doctor sends a referral for that, we do have a nurse on board. And if need to, this is called skilled nursing.
Okay.
So that's a separate category, but there is that available to them.
And so what is the authorization process?
Well, the authorization process, the state looks it over, looks at the case that the social worker from the state submitted, and once they agree that they do need some help in the homes, they send it to us, the home health.
So it's like qualifying.
Qualifying, exactly. It's like an approval. The state saying we approve for this senior to get this amount of hours. Once we go out there, we send them an attendant or a provider, as we call them, and we explain to them what they're going to be doing with this individual, our senior. And we also discuss the likes and dislikes, because we
Yeah.
are guests in their home. We
Okay.
don't take over the home. We are the guests.
Yes, they continue doing those favorite things that they love to do,
Exactly.
watching television or certain programs, activities, maybe
Even
games.
companionship too.
Yes,
Because
companionship.
a lot of our seniors are home alone and they want to talk to somebody.
Yeah, that's right. And when you get them on the phone sometimes, ooh, they don't want to get off the phone
Exactly.
because we realize they don't get to talk to anybody.
That's right.
And we know they need some companionship.
Exactly. We all need somebody to talk to sometimes.
Very good. I know that. Where are you located? Let's see.
We are located at 9611 Acer.
Yes.
But we're out of that office, but we work on the field, which means we're all over El Paso.
Okay.
We see seniors all over El Paso.
So, all through the county, huh?
All through the county, all the way to Fabens, Tornillo, we
Very
cover
good.
it all.
So if anybody's watching our show, they can call you and find out, if that's part of your service area.
Exactly. And I'm the one that goes out there as a social worker. I'm calling myself the community social worker because I'm out in the community all day long.
That's very good. And so, is there a phone number that our viewers can call?
Yes, our phone number, and I'm going to look at our
Yes.
phone number
Sure,
because it's
sure.
915-444-8621.
Very good. Any other information you want to share as a last message to this community? Our viewers, many of them are caregivers, care facilitators.
Yes, when in doubt, just call me.
Okay.
And I'm a social worker, and if you don't qualify for this sort of program, I refer out to other resources. There's no commitment. I'm just here to help it.
It's wonderful. That's Caring Partners Home Care.
That's correct.
A wonderful organization here in El Paso and surrounding communities. Ernesto Navarro is a social worker with that organization, so you should be sure and call. The numbers on your screen. And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Come back again sometime.
Thank you. I will.
Very good. We'll be back with more guests here on Mature Living. Well, we want to finalize our show this week talking about the Lions Club. And I didn't know this, but they celebrated their 100th anniversary of existence in 2018, which is amazing for a club. And I believe they're also going international or are international. So we've invited Joe Palomo, who is the governor for the West Texas Lions District. And I think we're privileged to have him as an El Pasoan representing this whole West Texas area. Lions Club do a lot of good, and so we want to find out what they're up to. Thank you for being with us,
Thank
Mr.
you very much.
Palomo.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Tell me, first of all, about yourself, about your career before Lions or maybe during Lions.
Okay,
Club.
well, I'm strictly a local boy. When I was going to high school, we had the Vietnam War going on, and I had every intention of I felt like I was going to be drafted because they had a lottery going at the time, and I drew a very low number. So I was prepared to serve as an enlisted man to be drafted. But one day, while visiting the university, I ran into some Marine Corps recruiters, and they offered me the opportunity to attend college, finish college, and then serve as a commissioned officer. So I served with the Marines for some 3 or 4 years active duty and some reserve duty. And then after I left the service, I was fortunate to obtain a job at White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico as an electronics engineer. And that was quite a challenging but also very rewarding career that I had. I was there for nearly 30 years. I retired from civil service, and I was introduced to the Lions. And I still felt like I had a little bit of strength, a little bit of energy. I felt that I was the product of opportunity, and so I wanted to give back to the community. And that's how I wound up being a Lion.
What is the Lions Club, and what do they do? And I understand it's international as well.
Yes. All Lions Clubs are part of Lions Clubs International. And we are an international association of autonomous clubs.
Okay.
We have over 48,000 clubs in over 200 countries throughout the world. So just about everywhere you go, you're going to find a Lions Club. Most people recognize us because of our bright yellow vests that we
Yes.
wear when we perform our services. And you see those whenever you see coverage on television of disaster somewhere. You always see the Lions because we're usually one of the first groups on the ground assisting.
I really like your tie.
Thank you so much.
It's the
Appreciate
logo of the Lions, and we see those vests. Very energetic, both men and women that are in the Lions Club. So, what are you focusing on, these days, as far as services for seniors, for kids?
We serve everybody without regard to race or creed or anything like that, and we don't focus on any particular age group either. Whoever needs our service, we attempt to provide it. Now, whereas the Lions Club organization, the international organization, they do have a number of focus areas where they would like us to serve. Those are in the areas of vision loss and combating hunger, and then improving the environment, prevention of childhood cancer. Whereas those are global focus areas, the mission of the individual Lions Clubs is to serve their community. So the Lions Club here in El Paso are here to serve El Pasoans. If you are in a small town, the Lions Club will probably serve the whole city. But in a big city, you probably have a club on the east side that serves the needs of that community, and a club on the west side, and so on and so on. So that's our mission and our function and our motto is to serve our community.
I was invited to present about the senior adult program to the Lions Club. I think I don't remember if it was a Central or what it was.
Probably downtown
Yeah.
Lions.
And they had so much fun at their meetings.
Oh, yes.
And they have drawings, and
Oh, yes.
they ring the bell or something,
Yes.
and it's just a fun meeting.
We try to make it fun.
I was amazed. These adults were having a heck of a good time as they were raising money
Oh, yes.
for the club. And so I've heard about the Kerrville camp. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, the Texas Lions have a children's camp in Kerrville, Texas, and the camp is for children with disabilities. There's a large number of disabilities that are recognized as bona fide disabilities, and any child between the ages of 6 to 18 can attend one of these camps. We do have a couple of specialized camps for kids with diabetes as well as kids with Down's syndrome. But generally, kids with any number of disabilities are welcome
It's a
at our
wonderful
camp.
service.
The camp is well known for what it does, and basically what it does is it gives the children self-confidence, and it gives them a sense of independence and of self-worth. Many kids that attend the camp for the first time return the following year and the year after that. We have some difficulty in the parents letting go of these kids because, as parents, we want to keep our kids close, especially if they have a disability. But once they let the kids attend the camp, they are surprised at how much independence they gain.
They grow. And so there is an application to become a Lion. And are you recruiting always?
We are always recruiting. We can use anybody's help. There is an application that can be downloaded from our website. All you have to do is Google Lions Club International. It'll take you to our website, and there's an application that you can download. Or you can contact any Lion. If you see anyone wearing the Lions logo or the yellow vest, go ahead and ask him for an application. Typically, we carry some with us, or we can get one to you. We can especially use seniors because they have time.
They're retired?
They're retired, and they're willing to serve. And so we have quite a number of Lions that are retired, serving and giving back to the community.
And your role as a governor, What is your main thing that you love about your position?
Well, the thing that I love the most is getting to meet the Lions in other areas of the state. As governor, I not only have to visit the clubs in my district, which is West Texas, but I also have to interact with the governors for the remainder of the state. There's 16 governors, 16 districts in Texas, so I get to meet them and find out about the programs that they're running in their districts, and it's a wonderful experience.
Very good. Last thing, we want to give the information. I understand you have Annette North.
Yes, Annette Norch is our district secretary, and she can route any questions or any requests for any of our services. You can contact her, and her number is 915-355-6677.
What an
Very
easy number.
number.
Isn't that great? I had to 915-355-6677. That's a great secretary's number they can call the Lions. And thank you for being with us, Mr. Palomo. What high school did you graduate?
I graduated from Bel Air High School. I'm a proud Highlander.
My daughter did too. So yes, we're all.
Thank
we
you
love
for
those.
having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And we will see you all next week. We had fun on this show. And don't forget that our Mature Living show is on YouTube, and you can always watch the shows on YouTube. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you all next week.